deciding whether to read the Silmarillion or not, please read it. It's gonna change you forever. Okay, maybe I'm overhyping it, but I'm not kidding. It's that good. It's actually that good. Especially like first 2 chapters. Okay, little spoiler. The first like 2 I can't speak. The first 2 chapters are about like the whole creation of the world and of Iluvatar, who is basically God, creating the Ainur, which are the Valar, or well, some of them are the Valar, and then the creation of Ea, the entire universe, and in that Arda, aka Middle Earth. Oh no, Middle Earth is in Arda. So, at the end of the Silmarillion, you get an entire chapter about Númenor, which is an island in front of the coast of Middle Earth. Well, actually, it's not like in front of the coast, it's like in the Great Ocean. Anyways, I have here the slipcase deluxe edition of the Silmarillion. I'm following a very specific Tolkien list by a YouTuber who I don't remember his name right now. It's like Tolkien Theory or something Tolkien, but I'm following his reading order for the Tolkien books, and I have now read The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and The Silmarillion and The Children of Hurin. The next one on my list is The Fall of Númenor. Now, I am sort of like, I was looking at lists on how to read Tolkien books, and everyone says something different, but they all go into like the same, into the same direction. With you start with The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and then The Silmarillion, and then afterwards, a lot of people say different things on how to read them. Some say start with Beren and Luthien, and then Fall of Gondolin, and then Children of Hurin. Others say other things. But we're here now, and we're gonna read this, and I'm gonna do as good of a review as I can on this specific edition. The reason I go with the slipcase deluxe edition is because I'm trying to collect all of them and then have an entire Tolkien collection existing of only these nice slipcases. But without any further ado, let's get started. So I'm just gonna pull this out. It is really snug in there. I'm sorry if this is really loud. Okay, I'm just gonna put it down real quick. Like, these slipcases are really nice. On this side we have a Númenorian symbol. I wanna say designed by Alan Lee, but I'm not entirely sure, so I'm not gonna quote myself on that. But you can see a Númenorian helmet. You can see that with the winged crown right there, and you see the ocean, and that is the Star of Gondor. I'm not entirely sure which star that is. Feel free to correct me in the comments. And the wings of the helmet is also the Tree of Gondor, or the Tree of Númenor, which then shifts into a tidal wave, and then all the other sides are blank. Now, getting into the book, we have the same crown design as on the slipcase cover, and then on the spine we have the logo for HarperCollins, the person who publishes, or the company who publishes the Tolkien books, with then the really big J.R.R. Tolkien rune symbol still hear the spine cracking. I love that sound. And then as soon as you open the book, on the inside we have a depiction of the fall of Númenor, with the great tidal wave coming in to engulf the entire island. And then you can see the Númenorian capital right here. I have not read this yet, and I have somewhat forgotten that chapter of the Silmarillion, that I do not remember the name of this city, so do excuse me. And then the first piece of text you are greeted with is a page of The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, in Book 2, The Council of Elrond, which says, "Then all listened while Elrond in his clear voice spoke of Sauron and the Rings of Power, and their forging in the second age of the world long ago. A part of this tale was known to some there, but the full tale to none, and many eyes were turned to Elrond in fear and wonder, as he told of the elven smiths of Aragion, and their friendship with Moria, and their eagerness for knowledge by which Sauron ensnared them. For in that time he was not yet evil to behold, and they received his aid and grew mighty in craft, whereas he learned all their secrets and betrayed them, and forged secretly in the mountains of fire the one ring to be their master. But Celebrimbor was aware of him, and hid the three which he had made, and there was war, and the land was laid waste, and the gate of Moria was shut. Then, through all the years that followed, he traced the ring, but since that history is elsewhere recounted, even as Elrond himself set it down in his books of lore, it is not here recalled, for it is a long tale, full of deeds of great and terrible, and briefly thought Elrond spoke. The sun ran up the sky, and the morning was passing ere he ceased. Of Númenor he spoke, its glory and its fall, and the return of the kings of men to Middle-earth out of the deeps of the sea, borne upon the wings of storm." So that is a passage from The Lord of the Rings. And then we are greeted with this. J.R.R. Tolkien, The Fall of Númenor and Other Tales from the Second Age of Middle-earth. Edited by Brian Sibley, and compiled from The Lord of the Rings, The Silmarillion, Unfinished Tales, volumes from the History of Middle-earth by Christopher Tolkien, and other sources, with, of course, illustrations by Alan Lee, which I also really love. I love how Alan Lee depicts Tolkien's works with his art. I think he's pretty much spot on. And then, to the memory of Priscilla Reuel Tolkien, from 1929 to 2022, ever a friend to friends of Middle-earth. I feel so bad because I'm not sure who that is, but I'm gonna do some research after this. And then we get to the contents. We get first the list of plates about this book, Introduction, the Saga of a Dark Age, and Before the Second Age. And then the book begins with the tale of years, chronology of the Westlands. Excuse me, I cannot read. Second Age year. Okay, so the chapters in which this is made up are also get like a year. Well, I'll just show you. In the blue you can see on the right side or the left side, Second Age year, and then a number which indicates in what year of the Second Age this takes place, which I do really like. So you get like a little bit of an understanding how much time passes between chapters, because when I first seeks to present in a single volume selections from J.R.R. Tolkien's posthumously published writings about the Second Age of Middle-earth. This book would not have been possible without the extraordinary literary achievements of Christopher Tolkien, who introduced readers of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings to the rich legacy of myth and history from both the Elder Days and the Second Age. This he achieved through his long years of dedicated curatorial his curatorial stewardship, editing, assembling, compiling, and providing invaluable commentary to his father's many manuscripts and drafts. It was in the pages of the Silmarillion, Unfinished Tales, and volumes of the History of Middle-earth, and other works as edited and prepared for publication by Christopher Tolkien, that the story was first told of the fall of Númenor, the rise of Sauron, the forging of the Rings of Power, and the last alliance of elves and men against the Dark Lord of Mordor. The intention is not to supplant these works, as each already stands on the definitive presentation of J.R.R. Tolkien's writings, with peerless, insightful commentary and analysis by Christopher Tolkien, but rather to provide extracts from the above, which is with a few editorial interventions as possible, that illustrate in the author's own words the rich and tumultuous events of the Second Age as summarized by J.R.R. Tolkien in his tale, The Tale of Years. Chronology of the Westlands, that appears as part of the Appendix B in the Lord of the Rings, and which is reproduced at the beginning of this volume. Okay, I'm gonna quickly see if I can get like some pictures. Oh, but I love about Alan Lee's art pieces that he doesn't only like give you full-fledged art like this. That's so pretty. Look at that. Alan Lee is so talented with his art pieces. I love this so much. Extraordinary, actually extraordinary. And then at the end and beginning of every chapter he gets these like drawings of different things from the books he writes or he illustrates, and I love it so much. It gives me a very like more appreciative view of the places he tries to put into books, because his illustrations are just so incredibly pretty, and it gives me like a better view for like when I'm reading a Tolkien book. I'll most oftenly like try to from Tolkien's description of something make like a mental image of what that place or person or whatever looks like, and then I use that while reading to make myself immerse even more. But with Alan Lee, he gives you like a very detailed look at what he thinks that place or person or whatever looks like, and it's just so like Tolkien aesthetically pleasing. So I just love it. Anything Alan Lee puts into the books he illustrates, it's amazing. And then we have over here, I'm not even sure you can see the things I'm showing you, but you can see like a little map of Númenor itself, the island, with the big mountain in the center, and then the different isles it has. Very nice. Yes, it looks so good. And then I believe at the end of the book we have a map of Middle-earth in the Third Age, or at the end of the Third Age, it says here. Very nice, very I'm just like so excited to finally get back into reading some more, and I think it's the best time for me personally to read Tolkien, because I've gotten so much more appreciative of reading works and like literature in like all aspect of my life. Whereas, for example, I was outside the other day and I saw the sunrise because I had to get up really early, and the sunrise was so pretty, and it made me like think of Tolkien's depictions of sunrises in his books, and it was just like I had a little bit of a moment like, wow, is that so pretty? And I think like reading Tolkien books and the way he describes beauty and the mesmerizing things of life and nature, I think that's really nice, and it helps me to get like a bit out of the hectic bubble that can be life sometimes, you know. Really drifted off there for a second with my thinking, didn't I? Huh? But anyways, that will be the Fall of Númenor, or at least my review of the slipcase edition. If you think about getting one edition of the Tolkien books, the deluxe editions are worth it. If you're on a budget, this one maybe not so much because it is really expensive. But I do recommend them. And if you have any more recommendations or things I need to read from Tolkien or other works he has, let me know. Also, if you have any more recommendations for books in general, I want to like get an as big as possible library of books I get to read, because I'm now reading all the Tolkien books, but when I'm done I want to read more stuff, and I want to know which books are good and I should read. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.